So, do see all my yeah, I and I will do good for my Oh, yeah. Okay. Uh, Greetings to everyone. Now today we are starting very important, another important topic. Of course, all the meetings are important. So one cannot say this is important and that is not important. The important topic that we are starting today is known as the Guru Yoga practice. Uh, to simplify, to see your Guru as the Buddha, and then eventually walk to see yourself as the Guru, and then to see yourself, the Guru, and the deity, all as the same, all as one. So that's the main uh, gist of what a Guru Yoga practice is. To see your Guru as a Buddha, and then to see yourself as uh, your Guru, to see yourself as the Buddha, the deity, and then to see the Guru yourself and the deity as one. Basically, that is what Guru Yoga is. Yeah. If you say in simple terms, that is what Guru Yoga is. But then, in order to uh, uh, in order to know the step-by-step guidance, we need like, we need to read further. Yeah. So there are two words here. One is guru and the other is yoga. Yoga. So both are Sanskrit words. I think I explained what guru means long before also. But anyway, guru. For simplification, we will understand guru as the teacher here. So guru means teacher, and yoga means union, to unify, to unite, or it can also means, so when two things unite, then they become one. So that is the right hand and the left hand. When I combine the two, it becomes one. Just like that. So the union has the meaning of oneness as well. So basically, to see um, Guru Yoga means to unite or to become one with the Guru. So the Guru is already one with the Buddha. Mm. So when I say Buddha, I'm talking about the deity here, the deity Buddha, and then the Guru and yourself all as one. So Guru, the teacher, yoga means to union or to become one. For simplification, think like that. Then so this is the practice, yeah, Guru Yoga. So the first lines on the this is the chapter 6 in the book, words of my perfect master. The page number is 309 in English. So the first line here starts, first you followed a supreme master and obeyed him. Then you practiced undertaking great hardships. So finally, your mind and your teachers become one, and you inherit the lineage. Fearless teacher, at your feet I bow. So the first line first you follow the Supreme Master. So Supreme here stands for the fact that the teacher understand all the understand the deep meaning of the teachings and how to share the instructions to the students according to their capabilities. So such a teacher is known as Supreme. So Supreme is not about achieving a certain position or high position, not like that. So Supreme here means the teacher who knows the mental capacity of the student, as well as the student the teacher who knows the teaching, the vast teaching of the Buddha Dharma, and then also knows how to teach that to the right way to teach it to the to each student.
Yeah.
That is the Supreme Master. So if you don't know, if you don't understand the Dharma teaching yourself, then you cannot teach anything. You don't have anything to offer. But if you know the vast teaching of the Dharma, the profound and vast teachings of the Dharma, but you still don't know whom to teach, how to teach, the way. In order to know how to teach, you have to know the mental capacity of the person, the targeted audience, right? So therefore, these two things are necessary. Knowing the Dharma completely, and then knowing how to teach, knowing how to impart that teaching to the students properly. So a teacher who has those two capabilities is called the Supreme Master. So a lot of times we see in especially in today's time, like in the internet, whatever, like the Supreme Master, this and that, the Grand Master number 1, number 93, whatever. So usually people think of the Supreme Master, the Grand Master, in a way of a position. So here, when Pedro Rinpoche is saying Supreme Master, he's not talking about a high position master. It's nothing to do with position. It's all to do with the capability of the teacher, the master, and the capability to understand the teaching fully, and then the capability to impart the teaching fully to the student. So that is the Supreme Master. So when you say Supreme Master, don't think of someone who is, in a high position, influential, wealthy, tens of thousands of students, not in that way. So if a teacher of a master has that kind of capability, he is a Supreme Master. If he doesn't have that quality, then if he has 10,000 students, he's still not a Supreme Master. That's then they follow the Supreme Master. Yeah. So now you understand what Supreme Master is. The second line is then you practice undertaking great hardship. So basically, follow the master means it's not like follow. You go after wherever the master is going. So if the master is going to India, you go to India. If he goes to Vietnam, you go there. It's not talking about physical following. So following here means following the instructions. So when you follow the instructions vary from basic to intermediary to advanced, and then to secret practices. And then at all times, of course, you will not be met with the most advanced one. You will not be given the most advanced instruction in the beginning. And you should be grateful that you are not given the most advanced instruction in the beginning. A lot of time people are too hungry for gaining realization and this and that. I mean, then they ask for the most advanced instruction from the very beginning. If you ask for that, then you are not ready, and then you will not be able to meet the result. And then you start to criticize the Dharma, criticize the teacher, all in all. So you should be, basically the teacher will give instruction and you have to follow the instruction properly. So if he gives you a basic instruction, don't ask for advanced practices. If he gives an advanced practice, don't ask for basic instruction. So your patience is also a practice here. Of course, we all want to become a Buddha, right? We all want to be free from samsara, but follow the teacher follow the instruction as your teacher gives step by step. That is also a big teaching. So that is the second line. Oh yeah. So when we say going through hardship, undertaking the hardship, we think like, okay, when we follow the teachings, the practice itself is very hard. The instruction of the guru itself is very hard. Um, we can think of hardship as in that way. But hardship can also means not getting what you want to practice, not getting the instruction that you want from the guru. That is also a hardship. So if you are not ready for a certain practice, the guru will not share that practice with you. I mean, you can get it from any other guru, of course. It's even in today's time. In today's time, there is the internet. There is a lot of book. Everything is available on the internet. Even in the past, also during like Milarepa's time, and in a long time back, right? Milarepa also did the same thing because he's not given the teaching that he wanted by Marpa, his teacher. So then he went to another teacher and get all the teachings from all the teachings that he desired from other teachers. Then, of course, as you know, the result that even though he got all the teaching, it was poured from one jar to another jar, meaning all the teaching that he wanted was received by him fully without any drop left. But then when he starts to practice, there is no result at all. Any case, so this can also be a difficulty. So difficulty does not mean being following the, like, let's say we talk about the what we talk about the other day is the the kusali offering. So when we do the kusali offering practice, it's very difficult, right? Last time we remember how to do the manifestation or everything very difficult. This can be one type of difficulty. Another type of difficulty is also not getting what you want, not getting the teaching that you desire. That is also a difficulty. And that is a difficulty you have to endure if you want to achieve the result in your spiritual pursuit. So the third line says, finally, your mind and your teacher's mind become one, and you inherit the lineage. So for your teacher and your mind to become one, basically for you and your teacher to become one, you have to practice, right? So you have to see your teacher as you have to see your teacher as the Buddha. You have to see yourself as the Buddha. And because your teacher is the Buddha and you are the Buddha, so for that reason, you and your teacher have the same nature of being the Buddha. So for that reason, you can see yourself as the as your teacher, seeing yourself as your teacher. Then, for example, if you let's say your teacher is Guru Rinpoche, Guru Padmasambhava, then when you see Guru Rinpoche as the Buddha, you see yourself as the Buddha, then you can see yourself as Guru Rinpoche. Then as the same goes with Lama Tsongkhapa. The same goes with any other teacher. So here, usually when we say Guru, we are talking about a Guru who is living and breathing somewhere in this world amongst you. So in any case, in order to become one with the teacher, you have to see the teacher and yourself as one. And that is what the Guru Yoga practice is all about, to see your teacher and yourself as one. So in order to support that, there is the line, Atisha, Master Atisha said that, friends, until you attain enlightenment, you need a teacher. So follow a supreme spiritual friend. So a spiritual friend is a term for teacher. In Sanskrit, it's Kalyan Mitra. Kalyan Mitra means a spiritual friend. It's a synonym. It's another name for teacher. So Adisha says, friends, until you attain enlightenment, you need a teacher. So follow a supreme spiritual friend. The second line is, until you realize the natural state, you need to learn. So listen to his instructions. So natural state is what it is. So what it is, the truth, the reality. So that is what is. So what is the nature. So when you when you mess with the what is, when you confuse the what is with something else, then it becomes unnatural, right? So the reality as it is the natural state. So therefore, the reason we are stuck in samsara, the reason we have anger, attachment, and ignorance towards each other is because we are unaware of that reality, that natural state. So in order to recognize that natural state, you need to learn. So therefore, you need to follow the instructions of the Guru. Then the last line is, all the happiness is the teacher's blessing. So always remember his kindness. And then to similarly, he's a Kadamba master. So he also says his quotation, his citation is also similar to the last line. The teacher should be recognized as the source of all accomplishments, worldly and beyond the world. So means everything that is material, like worldly things like food, house, this and that, and then beyond the world, meaning spiritual things. And he also said, you may know the whole Tipitaka, meaning all of the sutra. You may have knowledge of all of the sutra yourself, but without devotion to your teacher, that will be of no use to you. And that is true. Buddha's own cousin, Devadatta, he knows about, he knows a large portion of, I think about a 10 portion of something of the Tipitaka. But then he always have jealousy and he could not have any realization. And then he was born in the hell realm after dying. So therefore, without the devotion to your teacher, no knowledge, no learning will be of use to you. This is in general Buddhist teachings. But then if we come to Vajrayana, especially Vajrayana, then the teacher has a unique and a paramount importance, most important. And for this reason, everything comes from the teacher. All the Tantra teach that the practice of Guru Yoga and that the practice of Guru Yoga is superior to all other forms of practices. There's something called the practice of the generational and completion practice, which is usually considered high advanced practices. So the practice of Guru Yoga is even more superior than the practice of the generation and completion practice. And in order to support that, one of the tantra. So here, when they say tantra, it means a direct teaching of the direct teachings on Vajrayana by Buddha himself. So in one tantra, it says, better than meditating on 100,000 different deities for 10 million kalpas or eons is to think of one's teacher for a single instant, one moment. So there are more quotes. I will recite all of the quotes here, and then I will explain why I did so. Okay. So there is another, Then from the Tantra, once again, innate absolute wisdom. So supreme wisdom can only come as the mark of having accumulated merit and purified all obscurations, and through the blessings of a realized teacher. So knowing that to rely on any other means is foolish. So accumulating merit, clearing all the obscurations, and receiving the blessings of a realized or supreme teacher, these three are the key. Without that, any other forms of practice is futile. There is no result. So once again, then the Master Saraha, okay? Saraha is the teacher of Nagarjuna. So Saraha said that when the teacher's words enter your heart, it is like seeing that you have a treasure in the palm of your hand. Yeah. So basically, you are given the guidebook to the treasure that is within you. Then Master Longchen Namjamba, I think it's around 15th century something. Longchen Namjamba, he's known as one of the three Manjusharis of Tibet. Okay, Longchen Namjamba, Tsongkhapa, Sakyapandita, Tsongkhapa, and Longchen Namjamba. So these three are known as the three manifestation of the Lord Manjushri in Tibet. So Longchen Namjamba is from the Nyingma lineage. So, of course, then Longchen Amjamba said, in practices such as those of the generation and perfection phases, so we talk about the perfection or the completion stage and the generation stage, which is very advanced practice, it is not the nature of those paths itself that brings liberation. So, for example, by practicing generation alone, you will not be able to achieve enlightenment, or by practicing the perfection or the completion stage alone, Kirim Dzogrim, basically. So, practicing the the completion stage alone will not bring you Buddhahood, or any of the minute instructions within that practice will not bring you enlightenment by itself. But by following, by practicing Guru Yoga, the very nature of this practice by itself awakens the realization of the natural state within one, and then brings liberation. So if you don't do any other practices, just by practicing the Guru Yoga, this alone can bring liberation for you. So for that reason, the Guru Yoga is the most profound of all the paths, all the practices. That's Longchen Amjamba. Then also in the Tantra of the array of samayas, also speaks of better than meditating on 100,000 kalpas on a deity. So this one actually we covered already. So similar to that one. It's better to meditate on your teacher. Better than 1,000,000 recitations of the completion and generational stage is a single prayer addressed to the teacher. So better than meditating on 1,000 deities, meditate on the teacher. Better than meditating on different deities mantra, recite the prayer of the teacher. Then on the array of Ati. So in another book, whoever meditates on his kind teacher above the crown of his head, in the center of his heart, or in the palm of his hand, will have 1,000 Buddha's accomplishments. So basically, if you think your guru on your head, whenever you do the practice of any practices you are doing, any practice that you are doing, you will always feel the blessings of the guru because he is sitting on your head, right? Then let's say you are not doing your practices like off session. You are going to the market, you are going in the bus or traveling, whatever. That time when you have your guru in your heart, basically heart is what constitute like what we describe a person through that person's heart generally. So when you have the heart of the guru, then you have the same quality that your guru has. Basically, you will be able to be more calm if there is a traffic jam or some situation, some long line, or maybe someone is trying to irritate you, whatever. When you are in the real world out there, when you have the guru at your heart, you feel like you are feeling the heart of the guru, heartbeats of the guru himself. So therefore, you become more calm, and then you also become more wise because of that as well. And so in a real world situation, having the guru in your heart is helpful. Then having the guru in your hands or in your palm means if you meditate always during your practices, during your meditation, meditate with your guru on your head. And when you go outside, you always have your guru in your heart. Then if someone is sick, someone is dying, then you can also manifest the blessing of the guru at your heart, and then help people who are dying, who are in need for, who are suffering. You can help them through your hand. Then again, Gyawa Gwetsamba. So he's also a Kadamba master, great master, great meditator. So he said to practice Guru Yoga is to exhaust all the defects, all the faults, and then to perfect all the attainments. So by doing one simple practice, you can accomplish all this. So he also said there are many practices on the generation stage. So generation phase or generation stage. So generation practice. So just to simplify, so there's two types of practice. Okay, I said a couple of times already. Generation and completion stage. So generation stage mainly is about visualizing different forms or generating different forms of deity. So visualize a deity, and then you visualize yourself as the deity, etc. So that is the generation practice. So anyway, this is similar to saying meditating on 10,000 or 1 million deity. It's a same line. Okay, so there are many practices of generational phases, but none of them surpass the meditation on the teacher. Then there are many practices of the perfection phase. So perfection, or sometimes it's called perfection stage, perfection phase, or sometimes it's called completion phase or completion stage. So different translations in English. I don't know exact word in Vietnamese. I don't know the words. In Tibetan, we say kirim. Kirim is the generational stage, and then zorim, which is the completion or the perfection stage. So for the perfection phase or the perfection stage is basically to utilize one's the nadas and the chakras within one's body, and to control them, to realize, to remove all the obscurations, and to realize. Yeah. And there are many forms of practices on the perfection stage, but none of them surpass that on the total trust and surrender. So in the generational stage, better than all the generational stage is to meditate on the teacher's kindness, the teacher's wisdom, etc. Then better than all the practices of the completion stage is to give total trust and surrender to the teacher. Total give in to the teacher. Then also Digung Kyoba Rinpoche. So that is the one of the lineage of the founder of the Digung Kagyu lineage. So Digung Kyoba Rinpoche said, unless the sun of devotion shines on the snow peak of the teacher's four kayas, a stream of his blessings will never flow. So basically, if you don't have devotion, you will not have any realization. Yeah. So earnestly arouse devotion in your mind. So then, Repa. So Repa, all the Repa, the person who has the name Repa are usually followers of Milarepa. Okay, so they are known as Repa. And so anyway, he said, wishing for the primal wisdom beyond the intellect to dawn upon you without the fervent trust in the teacher is like waiting for the sunshine in the north-facing cave. If you are inside a cave, you will not see the sunshine anyway. But then if you are in a cave that is facing to the north, then of course you will never see the sunshine. That way, appearance here means reality. So appearance and mind will never merge. So now these are some explanation by Pedro Rinpoche. So the devotional, okay, so he says here, the devotional practice of Guru Yoga is the only way to awaken within you the realization of the uncontrived. Uncontrived means non-created by, uncreated, natural state. So what it is, then not other method can bring such realization. Then he tells the story of Naropa. I will share that with you. Pedro Rinpoche is sharing the story of Naropa because right now we have like 4, 5, 7 different kinds of quotes. Actually, there are more than that, hundreds of quotes supporting that Guru Yoga is the most supreme or superior form of practice of all. Without Guru Yoga, there will be no realization, no recognition at all. But then so in all the stories that what you can see is two things. To see the Guru as a Buddha, that Guru is none other than the Buddha, that is one thing. So Buddha means perfect, sentient, perfect being, no flaws, everything perfect. That is what a Buddha is. So that means the Guru is perfect. So that's why the name of the book is Words of My Perfect Master, right? So you can understand two things. One is that the Guru is the perfect, Guru is perfect. And the other thing is, without relying on the Guru, there is nothing, no result at all. No result can come without reliance upon the Guru, right? So these are, if you are, for some people, it is comfortable to accept that. But for a lot of people, especially if you have a very, I don't know, intelligent or skeptical mindset, then it would be very hard to accept these things. To say that to say there is a perfect being in the world is also very difficult for people to accept. There is no such thing as a perfect man or a perfect woman. It's very difficult to accept for a lot of people. And then to follow someone uh, uh, without challenge, right? To what's that? To completely surrender. Uh, that is that is a red flag for a lot of people, for a lot of people, and that is like blind faith, very dangerous. So for that reason, Atisha, the Pedro Rinpoche explains a few things. Why Guru is Buddha, why you should see the Guru as a Buddha, uh, and then why you should have total reliance, total dependence on the Guru. Why these two things are important. In order to emphasize that, he shares few stories here. So one of the story is Naropa story. Hmm. We also have the story of the Marpa Milarepa story. That is another thing. But he is sharing here the Naropa story. Hmm. So Naropa is a great master, great scholar. So in today's time, people who are influential, rich, powerful, these kind of people are like considered very, very important, right? In ancient India, people who are knowledgeable, people who have realized a different stage of realization. Basically, India is known as the land of wisdom for a long time. So people from all around the world come to India to study, and like universities like Nalanda and Takshila. These are great, great universities where people from different part of the world come to study. So basically, learning, people with knowledge, people with learning. Even if you don't have realization, if you have knowledge, people still respect you very much. If you have knowledge and realization, then you're respect beyond anything. And there was a time in ancient India, we can call them the golden time, golden era. So the people with knowledge, learning are very, very highly revered. So people like Naropa are like Elon Musk of today's time. So in today's time, everything, the world is like fully driven by commercial everything. So people with money, this and that are important, more important than with knowledge and realization, right? So I'm just laying out the context here. So in such a situation, Naropa is like that. So Naropa is a great, great master. Atisha was also like that in his time, but much later. But Naropa, he was a great pandita. That means hardly lined in the three vehicles, basically great master. Okay, great master means for popular, famous all over India, like that. Um, so he was also the. This is a very funny thing. He's a great scholar of Nalanda master, greatest one of the greatest scholar, and he's also the gatekeeper of Nalanda. So usually gatekeeper in a normal tradition, a gatekeeper is of if you talk in a position wise, the gatekeeper is a very low position, right? You have the gatekeeper, you have the I don't know, in a big company, you have the gatekeeper, the car driver, the sweeper, which are kind of the lower position, and then you have like the office bearers, then you have the CEO, this and that, like higher position. So he is a great master, but then he's also the gatekeeper of Nalanda. So as I said, knowledge, wisdom, learning is regarded very highly in ancient India. And so that, in those days, different masters, different intellectuals have different ideas, different ideology, different philosophies. And then there's a lot of clashes of ideologies, like, you know, uh, clash, like argument, between different ideologies. And then whoever wins, the loser has to the loser gets to joins the winner's team, and then the loser joins the winner's team. When they have a philosophical debate, argument, and then I lose, then I must, if I have 1,000 students, me and all my students join the winner's camp. I have to join like that. So, in any case, so there's a lot of spiritual or no, not spiritual, philosophical challenges are held quite often. So, Nalanda being a great source of learning, there are a lot of people who come to challenge uh, different masters in Nalanda itself. So, there are real, authentic masters who come to challenge Nalanda, and the Vikramashila, where Naropa is also a Pandita there. So Vikramashila, Takshila, Nalanda, they are all great universities of India at that time. So then I think Vikramashila is a monastery. Nalanda is a university, not necessarily a monastery, but there is a huge monastery there too. So the main point here is that when people come to challenge, they are like authentic teachers who come to challenge, like for authentic debate, and then there are a lot of just people who come to just waste time. So the gatekeepers are put there. So gatekeeper is not like a physical security guard. They put there so that all these kind of fake gurus or people who try to, influence, try to get fame, name by having a challenge in the Nalanda, Nalanda compound. So they are all filtered out by those gatekeepers, such as Naropa. So the gatekeeper has to be very, very highly skilled, not only in learning or knowledge, but also very highly skilled in debate, in argument, like that. So Naropa is one of those. So there are only 4 gatekeepers in Nalanda. There are many great scholars and masters, only 4 gatekeepers. And Naropa is the northern gatekeeper. So here in the book it says Vikramashila. It's another monastery, but in other history books, it says he's the protector of the Nalanda University. It can be both, okay? But he is definitely the protector of the northern gate in Nalanda. So. That's not what Naropa is. So Naropa, he does practice, he does tantric practices, uh, but before that he's not known for his tantric prowess, his tantric talents. Okay, but then he was of course known as a great scholar, great um, debater, etc. Great scholar, basically. Then one day during his practices, he does the tantric practices, and he has the vision of the wisdom Dakini, the deity. And then the Dakini told him, "You think so highly of yourself. You're so proud of yourself. You think you are great, but you are only great in words, on the surface, not the meaning, the in-depth meaning. And if you want to understand the in-depth meaning of what you are debating, what your knowledge is all about, then you still need to follow a teacher, despite being one of the greatest scholar of Nalanda and being the gatekeeper of Nalanda. You still need to follow a teacher. So by following, and then she also instructed to him that you should follow a master by the name Telupa. So Naropa went in search of Telupa for I think for a long time, couple months or something. So he went in search for Telupa a long time, and Naropa is of course a great scholar. That means he has great salary or whatever. So basically, he's well dressed, and Naropa is also born from a high noble family. In India, there's the caste system. So he was born in a higher caste family. So he is looking good, fair skinned, and everything very respectable like that. So he went in search of Telopa, went on and on and on. And so, long story short, he got to the place where Telopa is living. So Telopa, I don't know it's his real name or not, but we all call him Telopa. Telopa is basically til in Sanskrit or Hindi. Til means sesame seed. Sesame seed is til. So he was born to a father who is a crusher of til or crusher of sesame seed. So basically, you crush the sesame seed and then make oil out of it, sesame oil, right? So Telopa is born in a family who crushes sesame to make sesame oil, and that is considered a low caste, low class, not a high class. And then Telopa is dark skinned, and not being racial here, but that is how it is. All the low caste in India are dark skinned, and all the high caste are fair skinned. And then, of course, they look better, etc. Everything. So the low caste Telopa is like that. So when Naropa knows nothing about Telopa, he just followed the instruction of the wisdom deity and then went there. And when, after a long story short, he found Telopa, something like churned within him, in his heart. Something, his heart melted, then just by having the sight of Telopa, he couldn't stop crying. And then he has goosebumps. And then he just bowed down and prostrated to Telopa to give him teaching. Yeah. So Naropa, by profession, is a great scholar, professor, and also he's a monk, monastic. And Telopa is Naropa is a nobility. Telopa is a low caste. Telopa is not a monk, and Telopa is, of course, doesn't have. So when Naropa met with Telopa, Telopa is actually leading the life of a fisherman. So he was like fishing and doing like that. But usually lay people prostrate to the monk. But when Naropa met Telopa automatically, immediately, like naturally, Naropa knelt before Telopa, and then he asked, he prostrated. So it came like automatic. And anyway, the story is Naropa asked Telopa to give teaching. And Telopa didn't teach. Telopa didn't teach. And then instead, Telopa gave him different tasks, basically 24 tasks, 12 major tasks and 12 minor tasks. And these tasks are like, in today's understanding, if you think of it in today's time, it's all crazy tasks. Even then, even those days also, it's kind of looks crazy. But then Naropa followed them faithfully. Not only the trials, but if you think of in those times, those days, if you look at the social structure, one is a Brahmin, high caste Brahmin, and the other is a low caste sesame seed, sesame crusher. So in other condition, in other situation, there is no way Naropa is gonna offer respect and this to Telopa. But in the spiritual context, in order to gain realization, in order to be get enlightened, he's ready to forego his teaching, to let go everything. So then he surrendered himself to Telopa. So here comes the word surrender and total give in to the teacher. We talked about earlier. So he surrendered himself, then gave in to the teacher. And then he went through different tasks. So these are tasks are like he has to go and jump from a cliff, and all his bones in the all the bones in his body were broken to pieces. Okay, so this guy then all his bones are broken to pieces, but then because he followed what the Telopa told him to do, then Telopa healed him, magically healed Naropa back to his original state. Then one time Telopa asked him to eat one chunk of nice, sharp objects, like that. And so there are many trials like that he went through. And after all those trials, all those times, Telopa didn't share any teaching with Naropa. He didn't give any teaching. So all in all, he is believed to have followed Telopa for around 12 years. And so it is also believed that he didn't give any teaching for 12 years. But because Naropa is already a great scholar, he knows all the instruction, he knows all the words, right? So there's nothing new to him teach verbally. Word to word, there's nothing new to teach because he already know that. So, but it's more like it's called a trial because it's like a test. So Naropa is being tested for 12 years. So then he often asked for teaching, and he was never given the teaching that he wanted. And we are talking about here in today's time, people always want to receive the highest teaching, tantric, Vajrayana, empowerment, this and that, right after studying for a few months, few years, like that. So anyway, so he was never given the teaching. And then one day, while so basically, as I said, Telopa always. Oh yeah, that I just remembered the first time Naropa saw Telopa. Telopa was actually fishing. He was catching fish and eating fish. So a lot of people around the area don't know Telopa as a great master. They think he is a fisherman like that. So anyway, so they are fishing around and like that. One time, then again, Naropa asked Telopa to give a teaching. And that moment, seemingly angry, appearance-wise, right? Telopa seems very angry. And Telopa slapped Naropa on his face, on his face with his shoe. So Telopa slapped Naropa on his face with his shoe. And that very moment, without any teaching, without anything, Naropa became enlightened, gained realization just like that. Without any teaching, just a slap of the master. Basically following your teacher. So even though it may seem, okay, so this is the thing. So there's this context, like in a conventional manner, in a conventional understanding, all these things are like crazy, right? But in a tantric, in the Vajrayana sphere, in the Vajrayana world, if you follow the instructions properly, then you will have such result. And that is why Vajrayana is known as the fast track or the fast path. What takes eons in the conventional stage, in the Theravada or like general Mahayana practices, takes only about 3 years, something to achieve the realization. If you properly follow the instructions with the proper guidance, you can become a Buddha within 3 years, 3 months, and 3 days. Basically, 3 years, you can achieve that. And if you want to have such a remarkable result, then of course the path to that will be also very difficult, very challenging. If it's easy, then everyone would have done it. Because the results are such marvelous, then the path is also treacherous. But then, because of that reason, Vajrayana practice is not for everyone. It is for only those who can take up the challenge. Yeah, and that's why it's called the secret yana, or the secret yana. We have the Hinayana, we have the Mahayana, and then we have the Vajrayana, which is the secret yana. Why it's secret? Because it's not meant for everyone. You start with the nice things like the generational practice of different deities like Tara, Cherisik, very beautiful, very comforting, very peaceful. And then as you advance in your practices, then you start to see very ferocious looking, scary looking deities. You get scared, and then you have to follow different instructions that you are not up to, and then you start to question the teacher, and then you divide the teaching between the things that you think are real and things that you don't think are real. Whatever you are comfortable with, you say this is the true teaching of the Buddha, because Buddha is peaceful, this and that. And whatever does not sit with your mind, you will say, oh, this sure is made up by someone, because Buddha never teach like that. Buddha is not a person like that. So basically, you make up your own, I don't know, sect, your own philosophy, your own religion, whatever, and then you abandon the Buddha's teaching. You slice the Buddha's teaching into two portions: the ones that you like, and the ones that you prefer, and the ones that you don't prefer. The ones that does not sit comfortably with you, you call them non-Buddhist teaching. And that happens all over the world. In any case, if you are ready for these kind of practices, if you follow the instruction properly, then you will be able to, if you follow the treacherous path, if you follow the challenging path, then your result will also be marvelous, and it can be attained very conveniently. If you follow the inconvenient path, then the result will come to you conveniently. If you follow the convenient path, the result will take inconvenient amount of time to appear. So I will conclude here for time constraint, and then next week we will talk about how to practice Guru Yoga itself. So today we talk about the importance of the Guru Yoga practice. Yeah. So while I wait for the question, I will just say one last word. So this is the thing. When we have to look at, when we talk about seeing the Guru as the Buddha, so this is one important thing is, okay, Guru is the source of all happiness and all this thing. Then we can skeptically also think, if the Guru is source of all the happiness and all the joyful, all the good things, then the Guru can also be the source of all the bad, negative thing too, right? Because usually we say, everything is my own karma. All the good thing and bad thing comes from my own karma. This is the basic fundamental teaching of the Buddha. Then in Vajrayana, you say everything comes from the Guru. Now this is contradiction against the fundamental teaching of the Buddha. Buddha said everything comes from your own karma, good, bad, everything. Then all of a sudden in Vajrayana, everything comes from the Guru. All the good thing come from the Guru. All the bad thing is still your own doing, right? That is very much manipulation, right? That is, and it's it's manipulation or borderline manipulation for sure. So how do you seek the? So what's the solution? What's the answer here? Okay, so since there's no question from your side, this is my question to you. Then you can think over this for next week, until next week. Maybe you can discuss with we can discuss with your Lama friends, whatever. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. So dedication now, please. 오늘 공동 배워라 쇼이 미미란제 이래진 지내지 제메에게 와이보이전에 네 보이보이를 조모이제 사이웨어인다 간제게 동견정가 라이사인토이게 샤이라이소이원데 라이사인토이게 샤이라이소이원데
Thank you, Zipochala.
Thank you, Miss Wang. Okay.
Thank you very much, Rinpoche. Thank you very much,
Yeah,
Mama
thank you
Ninja.
so much.
Sunday,
Thank you very much.